Thank you, Mr. Williams, for such a kind reminder. Good afternoon, all. Those of you logged on via internet, watching via television, and listening via radio. Thank you for joining us today, 27th of April. I want to start by some abstract that I've made from presentations I've witnessed over the past weekend. One, I will start with Ms. Mtaj. It's not business as usual. It's business unusual. Two, while being inside the news with the Honorable Prime Minister, a caller called in and he admonished you, the general public, and us to watch your needle as it regards to spending. Watch your needle. I wanted to remind you to watch your needle, and it is not business as usual, but unusual. 311. There were a total of 16 calls for the past 24 hours. 16 in St. Kitts, 2 received on Nevis. 911, 121 calls. The NEOC and St. Kitts would have processed a total of 3 calls. 1 utility related, 1 for donation, 1 medical. The EOC and Nevis, 2 calls for the past 24 hours. Persons who require psychosocial support are asked to leave their contact numbers when they call 311, and the counselor will contact you. This is to reduce the cost of phone charges to the persons requesting the service. So 311, when you call 311, you call, you leave your information, and we will ensure that a counselor will reach out to you and call you. The COVID-19 Compliance Task Force continues to do its work, and I want to commend them highly for this week. They continue some educational process, but they are in the process of evaluating the progress that you are making. Today, they evaluated a total of 59 businesses, and they would engage 4 passenger buses. And they are categorized in the following manner. Retail, stores, 30. Insurance companies, 3. Barbershops, hair and barber services, 6. Automobile services, 3. Courier and shipping services, 3. Architecture and construction, 1. Medical services, 6. Legal services, 1. Financial services, 3. Real estate, 1. And utilities, electricity department was also inspected today. The significant areas of improvement that we are seeing is in the personal hygiene. Practicing good hand hygiene was a total of 94%. Availability of hand sanitizer, 60% alcohol base. They're about 100%. Soap and water readily available, 90%. The weakest areas that we found were rum shops. Rum and bar shops are still attempting to do business. Liquor sold by retail. In transportation, no more than 2 persons per row. That was very poor. Passengers not wearing the mask. That too was very poor at 6%. Windows fully open or partially open. Again, that was very poor on the buses, 6%. Doorknobs and handrests sanitized after every trip. That again was very poor at 6%. These statistics are going to drive the decision-making process. And I again want to appeal to all businesses, bus drivers in particular, ferry operators, to continue to comply with the agreed protocol. The task force observed general compliance with the regulations. However, they have expressed concerns that persons traveling on the passenger buses were not wearing the mask. Although it was evident that they had their mask around their necks or in their possession. So therefore, it doesn't make sense you have the mask around your neck, or have it tucked in your bag or in your pockets. Dr. Laws just made a very fervent appeal to you to ask you to wear your mask in public places in accordance with the regulation. I therefore appeal to the general public and the bus operators to ensure for your own safety that the passengers that you have to care about comply with the regulation and wear the mask, but in particular for your own safety. The quarantine task force continued their work today by visiting a number of persons who were in quarantine, and I want to laud the efforts of the general public. General public persons are calling, in particular family members, and they are reporting persons who they know supposed to be in quarantine. Again, let me remind you that this is no time for we to ask you to go back home. This is time where we're going to make an example out of anyone that we find breaking the quarantine and isolation protocol. You will be fined a fine of $8,000 maximum, or you will serve time in prison. So you make up your mind. It's for the general safety of everyone. Please be conscientious of that. So again, I make the appeal, persons who are in quarantine and isolation, please stay at home. We are receiving calls that these persons are jumping on buses and they are coming to the Bastia area. We are receiving reports that persons are leaving their homes when they're supposed to be in quarantine and are going to public places. That is not correct. That is not right. Think about your fellow men and women. I want to thank a generous donator that took into consideration that we have some birthday celebrants for the month of April. And this generous donator, who wishes to remain unanimous, gave a wonderful cake just for the birthday celebrants. I guess they know who they are. I also want to acknowledge Dr. Bernal Nisbet and Rubina Nisbet for making a generous contribution to the fight against the COVID-19 and St. Kitts and Nevis with a donation of 2,000 EC dollars. 2,000 EC dollars. Thank you, Dr. Bernal Nisbet and Rubina Nisbet. Your contribution is well noted and appreciated. With that said, I want to continue everyone to continue to adhering. Oh, yes. There is also a hallmark moment attached with the contribution made by the Nisbet family. And the hallmark moment states, "This world needs more people like you." To the Honorable Senator Wendy Phipps, the health team, and all the frontline workers, from Mistress V. Nisbet, and I will also include Dr. Bernal Nisbet. Thank you. That's what the card says. These are the little things that move us on a daily basis to continue what we are doing. With that said, thank you, and we look forward to your questions and engagements. Mr. Williams, both there.